How do you sell cookies online? I mean, I love cookies, and you love cookies too. That's probably why you're watching this show in the first place. Of course, you want to also learn how to sell cookies online. So you want to look at the monetary aspect of things, right? So the thing is that when you actually think about selling your own cookies online, this is actually a great way to make money while doing what you love. And the cool thing is that when you think about selling cookies online, you are like cookies in general. You're thinking about a multi-billion-dollar industry, okay? Because everybody loves cookies, whether you are from New York or let's say Bali, Indonesia, or you're from Berlin, Germany, or you're from Abuja, Nigeria, or Brasilia, Brazil. Everybody loves cookies. But the thing is that you have a multi-billion-dollar industry, that's for sure, okay? But most importantly, what's good is that you can scale real fast. So you have when you think about selling cookies online, think about something called DTC food. So basically, this is actually direct to consumer. So this is not B2B or B2C or whatever. No, you have a DTC food process. And you can start actually by offering a few homemade products that your customers will devour and share with their friends and family. And but over time, you can scale real fast too. You can actually perfect your recipes, and you can turn those recipes into a collective brand that generates profit. And I'm not talking about like a small profit. I'm talking about good profits, okay? And cookies are also incredibly customizable and largely shelf stable, which makes them an ideal product to sell online because you don't have to think about an expiration date. I mean, of course, cookies have expiration date, but you know what I mean. Like it's not like the expiration date is like 1 month from now or one week from now. You can actually have cookies for like 1 year from now, and you can ship them almost anywhere with little to no risk of melting, cracking, or breaking. Okay, so that's an important element to think about. Now, the big question is, can you sell cookies online? Of course, you can definitely sell cookies online, but you got to have the right strategy, okay? So the same cookies that your spouse, say, your children and friends love can actually be known state or even nationwide, and even, like I said, globally. You can also sell cookies online everywhere from Amazon and Etsy to mom and pop websites, also online marketplaces. Okay, so you have a lot of platforms where you can sell cookies online. That's really good, and you can have your big commerce, your Shopify, your WooCommerce website, and actually sell cookies like crazy and make crazy tons of money. So that's really good. Let me give you the approach that you need to really think about when you are actually contemplating this year selling cookies online. And I'm not just talking about selling cookies online, but I wanted to insist on the fact that those are homemade cookies online. Okay, and so the first thing you want to do here is you want to actually think about setting yourself up for success. I want to insist on that because you want a strong foundation for your cookies business, right? So get your business paperwork in order. So I'm talking here about what? Your LLC, your S corporation, your C corporation. Because see, the thing is, don't try to really do it as a sole proprietorship because you want to protect yourself should something happen. Because when you think about cookies, you got to really think about a health issue. And if somebody has like food poisoning or what have you, your ass your ass might be in jail. You never know. Like with those things, don't play with that. So you want to set yourself up as a business so that you can segregate things like your personal affairs from your business affairs. Something happened, at least you know you are covered, right? You also want to obtain insurance, and also you want to think about the regulations, like health regulations in your area, in your city or state. Maybe you might need a license. You might need a wholesale license or a retail license. You got to really think about that because again, when you think about selling cookies online, you got to think about it in terms of business, okay? And basically, you might actually even need an e-commerce business license. You might need zoning forms. You might need a food handling certificate. So depending on your business model, you got to really, you might actually think about what you have to do to make sure that you are actually in compliance at all times. And I want to insist on that. Don't play games with local regulations, okay? Because the last thing you want is actually authorities actually knocking on your door and saying that, listen, you're doing something illegal and they just jail your ass. You do not want to have that. And the thing that you want to do also is that you want, in terms of selling cookies online, you want to set up a bank account. So, and don't try to really complicate things. Okay, go with the bank where you are currently at, where you currently have a checking account or a savings account, a personal account. Open, if the bank so allows, open a business bank account with that bank so that you can really run things through that account. If you're trying to really sell cookies online, at some point you got to really decide what kind of strategy you want to have. And when I talk about strategies, I'm talking here about the kinds of cookies that you want to really make, right? Because the whole thing is, I mean, when you think about cookies, you have tens or hundreds of varieties when it comes to cookies. I mean, again, you love cookies, I love cookies, and I'm sure that you haven't eaten one single category or one single variety of a cookie since you were born. You probably varied. So that's the same thing. People love variety, especially when it comes to cookies. Okay, so even if you expand your product line later on, the first cookies listed on your site are what customers will judge your business by, right? It's all about first impression really counts, right? First impression, what kind of first impression you want to really establish vis-a-vis your customers. So it's always a great idea to put cookies with your best recipes and phenomenal pictures up first. Okay, pictures are really important. If you gotta really hire like a photographer to really set things up for you, do it, because the last thing you want is actually give the impression to your customers that you have a cheap ass sort of cookies. No, you want to have cookies that are really well made, well cooked, and that they look succulent. They look really fresh. They look really appetizing. You also want to create your e-commerce business plan, because whether you want to sell part-time or turn your passion for sweets into a full-time business, you need a rating plan, right? You got to have a clear idea, not just for yourself, but for potential partners, right? Somebody wants to join you later on. At least they have a clear idea of where you're trying to really get at. What is your roadmap? What is your vision? What is and again, when we speak about your business plan must be really granular. Granularity is important. So the depth and breadth of your business plan must be really clear. So now your business plan doesn't need to be complex to be effective. It should include just clear information about your target audience, merchandise inventory, marketing and sales plan, funding sources, and projected sales. And you also want to get kitchen equipment, because again, we are speaking about cookies, right? We're speaking about baking. We're speaking about kitchen equipment. So it goes without saying that baking cookies requires the right tools. So if you are baking out of your home, you can use the equipment already there. Don't try to really reinvent the wheel, right? Start little. And this might the kitchen equipment might include your oven, cooling racks, baking sheets, and mixers. And as you expand, you want to consider adding more equipment like dedicated refrigerators and icing tools. So if you're thinking about selling cookies online, it's really important that you go a little more granular when it comes to your product catalog. So you got to develop your product catalog. Why? Because you want to really give, again, going back to what I said a little earlier in terms of varieties. You want to give varieties to your customers, to your potential customers. Cookies are a fantastic food product to sell because there's always a need for more treats. People love treats. I love treats. You love treats. And billions of folks all over the world love treats. Okay. So because you have this constant, this endless source of revenue, you got to really think about categorizing your products. This makes it very easier to perfect your e-commerce catalog design, because you know what customers want more of, right? And use your best selling products to create cookie bundles and BOGO offers. You can have the BOGO offers. I mean, BOGO offers work all the time. What's BOGO? Buy one, get one. In other words, 50% off, right? 50% off. Buy one, get one. BOGO offers are just fantastic. And so you want to invest in labeling and packaging. So every online business needs e-commerce packaging, especially if you are trying to do things automatically. You want to automate the whole process, and you want packaging that suits products and that also abides by current laws, right? I think if you remember a little earlier, I said when it comes to food, authorities are very strict. So the last thing you want is to actually violate the law. You want to follow the law to the letter. Your cookies must adhere to the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act, FPLA, which basically dictates that how how consumer products must be labeled. As your cookie business expands, You also need to invest in warehouse labels to keep your warehouse organization in tip-top shape. Very important, especially if you are trying to really scale down the road, especially also scaling in multiple geographies, multiple countries, because various countries have various laws and when it comes to health. You also need to choose shipping options. So since you'll be shipping perishable goods, expedited shipping will likely be your best option. However, consider the cost of various shipping methods and timelines. Now, cookies can be perishable or non-perishable. I mean, you can have a cookie last for 1 year or 1 month. It depends on the kind of cookies that you are selling in the first place. If you are trying to sell cookies online, you got to really think about marketing and sales. I mean, this is really what it is. I mean, nobody's going to love your cookies right off the bat. So you need to have a marketing strategy. You need to really connect with your audience. You need to really like talk about your brain, talk about your cookies. Like, I know your cookies are going to be tasty. That's for sure. But the thing is that you have to really communicate that sort of tastiness, if you will, to your customers. So as tasty as cookies are, they're not going to sell themselves. So you have to develop an e-commerce marketing strategy that basically targets the ideal customer that your business plan identifies. Don't try to really target everybody and anybody. See, if you are trying to target everybody, you are indeed, in fact, targeting nobody. So you want to really go really granular here. Focus on your ideal customer, your ideal persona, and go after this persona real hard. As your marketing becomes effective, you'll start to see more traffic to your business via word of mouth. Right? People will be talking about your tasty cookies, and you have to make your cookies. So once your business structure is in place, the fun part begins: baking cookies. Emphasize quality over quantity when making the first batches of your products. No cookie will ever be perfect, but you must earn customers' trust in your sweets. Once they love your desserts, they'll be back for more. So continue growing your brand by leveraging various B2B marketing strategies. It's one of those things where, if you remember a little earlier, I told you that cookies actually is in a DTC category. But again, if you want to really expand your business, you want to sell to companies too, because everybody loves cookies. Once again, I keep saying it, but it's true. So at companies, there are people working in those companies, and those people, they love cookies as well. And also consider selling wholesale. There are dozens of restaurants, businesses, farmers markets, and shops that accept wholesale goods. So once you learn how to become a wholesaler, you can actually generate an additional revenue stream for your business through a wholesale marketing strategy. You can also create even more income streams with complementary products, such as if you sell wine online, for instance. Okay, so that's a good thing to really think about. Let me give you a perspective here. So as you are thinking about selling cookies online, you got to really think about growing a business of selling cookies online all the time, because if you want to scale, if you want to stabilize your revenue base, you got to really constantly try to diversify the basket of your income streams, right? Okay, so basically, if you are reading about how to sell cookies online, you might be interested to know how to scale this business endeavor. So whether you already have let's say a business selling cookies, or you are planning to start one in the near future, maybe 3 months from now, 3 weeks from now, 3 years from now, or like, it really depends. And let me give you a few additional product categories that you can sell as well. You can try jams and jellies. You can try nut butters. That's really good. You can try canned goods rather. You can try also other sweets. Okay, it's an important element to think about. So what I want to say here is that when I speak about jams and jellies, if you already have a business selling cookies from home, you can easily start making delicious jams and jellies and sell them as well. And actually, here are products that are enjoyed by a lot of people, and many households prefer to buy homemade preserves compared to the one on store shelves. You can also try nut butters. So peanut butter is the most popular product in this category. However, other goods such as hazelnut, walnut, or Almond butter are also very popular. They can be used as spreads or by bakery businesses. You can also try, for instance, canned goods. So home canning has been a great way to preserve fruits, vegetables, and meats. So there is a growing demand for ready-to-eat canned meals as people have less time to cook. In order to increase profits, though, make sure to prepare canned goods during the peak season of the ingredients. That way, you can actually stabilize your revenue on that end. Also, think about other sweets. I mean, products such as nut or protein bars can actually be a healthy alternative to selling cookies, right? Because the thing is, when you think about it, the whole idea here is to stabilize. Again, I want to insist on that. Is to actually stabilize your income sources. So when you think about sweets, sweets are in high demand since they are both rich in protein and a vegan alternative to traditional confectionery. So this is kind of good to actually think about. So overall, you have a lot of possibilities, especially if you are trying to scale real fast. So let me give you the extras here. When you think about selling cookies online, there are a few things you got to really think about right now. If you are thinking about pricing, because pricing has to play an important role in terms of your revenue strategy. So a single homemade cookie tends to sell for about $3 to $4, and cookies by the dozen sell for anywhere between $10 to $25. So prices depend on demand, ingredient availability, competitor pricing, and consumers' perceptions of your cookies. If they think your cookies are just fantastic, you have a premium there, right? You can actually increase the price a little bit. If they think your cookies are just like excuse the word, garbage, then they're not going to be willing to even pay anything for it. And the thing is that if you are thinking about pricing your cookies perfectly, think about a few things. Think about ingredient cost, branding, cookie size, and how much similar cookies go for. Okay. Now the typical cookie business sells their baked goods with a profit margin of 30%. And you want to price your sweets according to market demand and what customers will be willing to pay for similar cookies. So if you haven't sold cookies before, take a look at cookie pricing in grocery stores and also at farmers market. These are good sources of customer-friendly pricing information. And the thing is that overall, when you think about the cookie business being profitable, of course it is. It is definitely, hands down. Okay. I mean, a cookie business can be a profitable endeavor if customers love your cookies and you have a profitable business model. So it really helps to have a proven marketing strategy too, so you can generate consistent demand and keep people coming back for more. So, and the thing is that there are a lot of advantages when it comes to a cookie business because you might have the low startup cost, existing demand for desserts, and flexibility in selling both online and offline. So that's kind of cool. Now, of course, there are some drawbacks, like you might have extensive health code requirements, a crowded seller's market, and the need for constant production. So this is something to really think about as you are considering your cookie business endeavor. Now, cookie businesses need to actually offer a unique product at an excellent price point to be actually noticed in today's market. So as long as your business hits these targets, there is immense room in which to become profitable. That's for sure. So here's a coda into this conversation. I spoke to you about how to sell cookies online. I gave you the overview, the approach, the perspective, the extras, and now the coda. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.